Hey everybody, it is Saturday, it's July 12th. I'm at the end of the credit card cycle today. My credit card is higher, it's 75% higher than I want it to be, but there were some exceptional purchases there. So this is the end of the cycle and I'm just gonna hold out until tonight. I do need to get a couple things. But I'm not going to charge until later tonight because then those will go into the next day's cycle. So I didn't do very well. It's over 60,000 baht, and that's going to hurt when I get my paycheck at the end of this month. I'm not going to have much left, and especially since we're going to Laos, so I'm going to have to take. I need a good amount of cash to take to Laos because almost everything is by cash. Otherwise, I'm paying like 3% on my credit cards. Even my Thai credit cards. So I'll probably have to look at getting a credit card in Laos when we go back. But anyway, that's a small thing. And today is July 12th. This is the day that my wife considers, this is the day that she holds up as our anniversary. It's kind of funny. She holds this as our anniversary because this is the day 12 years ago we met. And it was actually a Saturday, I think. We met at a birthday party. And she, let me make sure, yeah, video's on right. And she, so this is the day she always refers to as our anniversary. For me, not so much. It was the day we met, but it wasn't the day that I would consider our anniversary, but I go along with it. The Lao mentality is a little different with these kind of things, because they don't really date around. Dating like in the Westerners, for Westerners, I don't know how it is these days, but when I was there, they were still very traditional people, so you wouldn't date many people, and you would they call you a butterfly otherwise if you do. Where as a Westerner, we date around, date different people, and it was just kind of understood until you find the person that you kind of click with. But not in Laos. You don't really date around. People do, but they call you a butterfly and you can get a very bad reputation for that. And so for me, our anniversary would really be 3 months later, 3 years later, because when the day that I realized I loved her and I told her. I remember she was driving, she lives in the South, and she would only come in every couple months, and we'd meet up, and then she would go back for several months because she lived with her family, her parents in the South, because she closed a restaurant the year before. And so it was just this one time she left, and I felt really I felt pain in my heart, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love her. I've come to love her. I didn't at first. I knew she was special, but I didn't love her at first. And I told her when she got home, it was 12-hour drive for her to go home. And I said, I really miss you. And then she says, I love you. She actually said it first. And then I said, I love you too. And that's so when it really clicked for me. Really cute. But anyway, but our wedding date is in December. So it's, our actual official wedding, our official marriage date, we're legally married, is in December. We met in July, which is what she calls our anniversary, but we're really getting church married in November, 2 years after we're legally married. So it's going to be kind of messy. I don't know what you'd refer to our anniversaries. I guess we just have a couple of dates in the year to celebrate. So what's been happening this week? So I mentioned yesterday a little bit about Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. I just had some more thoughts about that, because he's such an icon, and I did love Black Sabbath music later in my year. When I was older, actually, I appreciated it more. And I still am drawn. If I'm drawn to music, I love metal, and I love that sound, that dark sound with Black Sabbath. But I don't listen to it anymore. But I have seen a few clips on YouTube And I hear a lot of people criticizing him, saying, he's like a 90-year-old grandma showing up at Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm like, I really admire him for doing what he did. He came out with stage 5. I don't know the stages, but stage 5 Parkinson's. He can't even walk. He came out with stage 5 Parkinson. I think he's 75 or 80 years old. And he put on a full hour concert. And I just it's really impressive. And then I learned later, all of the proceeds are donated to a charity or science research for Parkinson's, because he has it very bad. My dad had Parkinson's, but my dad ended up being bedridden for 2 years, so we couldn't really see that. I mean, he was full service hospice, because he couldn't do anything. He could barely feed himself. So really sad. And this is just a reminder of how short life is, So looking back on, I've seen some clips of him. I never saw them in concert. I never saw him in concert. He just wasn't. He didn't do it that much for me to want to go see him in a concert. I would have seen him, but it just wasn't that big deal for me. But he you just think, you look at the old clips of when, he called himself, he was the self-dubbed Prince of Darkness. I mean, I don't know, the more I become God follower and spiritually led and spiritually inclined, the more I just wonder, what this is going to mean for him in eternity when he's done, when he's passed. I just, like I said yesterday, at the end of his concerts, he's saying, "I love you all, God bless you all." I'm like, man, you're sitting on a devil chair, and you're the Prince of Darkness, and your songs are satanic. How? I think our lives mean something. I think God has us here for a purpose. My purpose has been trying to use my skills to work for organizations that help people in mass numbers, refugees and people underprivileged, and people starving and things like that, victims of war. But he brought music, but what kind of music was it? I don't know. I do know, and I hate to say it, but I just can't. What is he going to say to God? What is he going to say to God when his time is up? Will he have an opportunity to repent? We always have an opportunity, but will he see the light before it's too late? And I really pray for him that he does. It would be wonderful to know before it's too late that he repents. I mean, what a message that would send to the world. But anyway, it's just life is short. I think God has us here for purposes, and we need to serve God while we're here and to do the best that we can, and follow his will. And the other thing that's interesting about Ozzy is, you look at, never graduated high school, and he was one of the druggies in school, and a bum, and drop out, and ended up being one of the most famous people in the world. I mean, it's just weird. Wealth beyond what you can imagine. I mean, where else can that happen but in America? I know he's British, but you've got some British bands like that. But it's just amazing to see someone who was such a waste. I mean, if you look at how many people you would call see wasting their life, and he ended up turning it into a business. It's just weird how the world works. It's weird to see what people. If I saw him, I would feel bad for him. Just wondering what's going to happen to your life when you're done here. That was a bit of a ramble. I mean, but just some thoughts about God. And speaking of God, I read 2 Chronicles 19 and 20 today. Jehu, this was right after Ahab was killed. by a random arrow. I got incidents in Jehoshaphat. Everybody needs to name one of their kids Jehoshaphat. And that would be a cool name, Jeho. Hey, Jeho. And so Jehu came and talked to Jehoshaphat and said, you shouldn't have been aligned with someone evil. It makes you want to, you think the enemy of my enemy. It's when unholy alliances can occur, where Jehoshaphat was holy and he allied himself with Ahab, who was wicked, total a-hole, one of the most wicked kings. And Jehu came and warned him about allying himself with someone wicked. You holy and unholy cannot line up. At one point, because at some point it's gonna fall. Back to that story. So Jehoshaphat listens, and then he gives God the glory. And then in 20, I think it's he goes to battle, and the priests, the prophets tell him just to stand there, and God will fight your battle for you. And he did that. He put the priests in their robes up in the front, and the wicked, the people that were attacking them, ended up fighting and destroying themselves. That's how God works. I believe when God is on your side, when you're following God's will, the wicked end up eating themselves up, fighting themselves. I mean, sometimes it doesn't look like that, but I think that's what happens, and I see that sometimes with, personally, I see sometimes the enemy of your enemy, you end up making alliances, or I have seen people try to make alliances with me when, who I might not have liked or have really collaborated with before personally. We becoming friends or becoming kind of a team against the common enemy. So, but I have to be careful when I do that, because if the other person is doing it more out of vengeance and out of ungodly motives, sure, we might have the same enemy, but I need to be careful with things I say, how I perceive that, and I don't take on their persona. I don't look for revenge. I don't look for bitterness and anger, because I do see that in a couple of relationships. I'm not going to reveal that now because they're work related, but it is something that I need to be careful with. I think and speaking of, one of the persons who I've come to really appreciate more and more at work and enjoy, she's a transgender, and I always liked her, but we've become closer friends over the past couple months, and I've been a confidant for her, and I've come to appreciate her more. She's technically really good. She's really good at what she does. Very energetic, great ideas. She works harder than I do, and I think just because we're at different points in our life, with the work. She's only been there. She's going on 2 years. She's not 2 years yet. I'm in my 8th year, so there's a lot of history and a lot of frustration that she's already at just 2 years. And another colleague who's a director, she also is already frustrated, and she hasn't even been here a year. She's leaving, and she's very happy to leave. She's one of the people that would be cut, but she wants to go. She wants to go tomorrow. And the other girl, I just heard, they just forwarded me her email to get some response that she actually resigned. She was talking to me about that for a couple weeks now. And this past week, I said, look, you have to make a decision. I said, I can't tell you what to do. I said, but it's not going to get any easier or better. And you have to make a decision personally if you can take this anymore, and make sure they don't just throw you a bone. They did it last year. She resigned last year. only after not even a year because she was frustrated. And they threw her a bone. They threw her a bonus. They threw her a bonus. And I told them, don't do that. I don't think it's a good idea. It's not good precedent. One of the things I was angry about with the new leadership, he started just messing with things like this that we've never seen before. Sets a bad message, and it caused a lot of disgruntlement. A lot of disgruntlement with the finance team and the HR team. They saw this one person after 1 year get an extra month bonus just because she was threatened to resign. I mean, it was horrible. And now again, 1 year later, she just submitted her resignation. I just said, you need to do what you need to do to be happy. I said, and I don't think this is going to get any better for you here. I think the more cuts there are, the more pressure is going to be on the people that stay. So, well, apparently she sent the letter, and she's leaving in a couple. She resigned in a couple months, and they want my thoughts. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm leaving in 12 months. I'm leaving in 4 months. It's so stupid. Such stupid vehicles like that. But this is the beginning of the fall, I believe. She's really good, and I think they're going to really. I don't know if they're going to try and keep her or not. I'm going to just say I have no more comment. Last year I would have accepted her resignation. I'm glad she stayed because I got to work with her more, and I really appreciate how she is. She's really good. I would give her a very good recommendation, and and I would probably stay friends with her. But it looks like she did it, and I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to throw another bone. I did warn her. I said, they threw you a bone last year. Just be ready. If they try to throw you another bone, it's still not going to make things any better. I wish she was waiting till I was leaving in December. For one, I like having her there. She's very good and reliable. And I don't want it to disrupt any of my plans. I don't want her leaving to disrupt my plans, because if they lose, she's good. If they lose someone who's very good and contributes heavily, and they end up accepting it, I don't want that to interfere with my plans to leave by December. I never thought I would see this. I didn't see this coming. But if they think that they're going to be technically under, they're really going to be hurting. They're going to be hurting when I go anyway. They have no idea what they don't appreciate how much I do, and they have no idea what's coming in that first quarter when I'm gone. I know it, and I'm not just saying that, to make myself feel better. Not at all. I would love to be able to just slip out. I don't think they realize how much is going to be missing when I go, and I'm going to be prepared for them to ask me to help with some things, and I'm not sure I'm interested. But her leaving, I don't want to interfere with the plan that I'm leaving, because I still haven't been issued my letter yet. No one has. We're only issuing them at the end of July. So 2 more weeks. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. And I'm just going to say, nope, this is the plan. This is your problem. I'm done in December. I already started contacting some moving companies. I talked to AGS last night, and they only do sea and air. And I'm like, this is a very small move. It's across border. It should take 1 day. I'm like, so I'm not interested. There's no point in doing sea. Apparently the person I was talking to, I'm like, I'm moving from Bangkok to Vientiane, to Laos. I don't need sea delivery, sea freight. It's small anyway. This stuff will fit in a truck, medium-sized truck. So I hope I hear from these other companies. I did some AI research, and they gave me the names of some companies. I reached out to them. It should only be like up to $1,000 to move with our stuff. So I'm setting those dates. The other thing this week, Azoda and I, we will go for a massage tonight. I asked her if she wants to go for dinner. She's being a little more conscious about money now. She's trying to be, because I think what I told her earlier got through to her a little bit. But she said, I don't want, it's okay. I said, why don't we go for a massage? Because we really love to do that together. She says it's romantic. So we'll go up to one of the gay massage parlors up here. I mean, it's gay because it's all the guys. It's all guys, and they're all gay. The owners are gay. She's really good friends with them. They're very nice to us. And I usually have one of the girls give me a massage. No, that's not true. It's 50-50. I don't really care. But she's friends with them. I think she's invited them to our wedding. At least the two their brother. I think their brothers are cousins. I don't think they're married, but they're very, very gay. And so are the guys that work in there. So we'll probably do that. That will be our anniversary treat, 2-hour massage. I don't really care for it that much, but I'll do it because, it's our anniversary and it's important to her. Another thing this week, all-time highs in the stock market, and NVDA made world history. First $4 trillion company in the world. NVDA, I think NVIDIA. It's NVIDIA. That's how it's called. NVIDIA. It's a microchip company that just 15x'd in the last 2 years. It's one of my heartbreaks with stocks. It's one of my biggest heartbreaks. Probably my biggest heartbreak with a stock. I made a stupid decision. I bought it 2 years ago, or in 2022. I bought some stock in NVIDIA, then I watched it drop. This was before I really understood how the market worked. And NVIDIA was getting bashed on YouTube with content creators, and except for one or two who said this is the game-changing, this is the pound the table or stock that you want to have, company that you want to have in your portfolio for the next decade. And I was listening to too many voices, and I bought some. I remember the prices. I bought some at $140. So that would be the equivalent of $14. I bought several $1,000s worth at $14. I bought $7,000 when it dropped to $11. And this was pre-split. Oh no, this was post-split prices. And this was right at the beginning when I'm investing, and I didn't really know what I'm doing. And I'm listening to all kinds of YouTubers. 2 people were loving NVIDIA, and like 10 people were hating on it. 10 people, and giving reasons not to buy it. And I got spooked. Out of so many good purchases. And this was before I joined this investing group who was a big proponent of NVIDIA. He was one of the 2 who were saying this is a pound the table buy when it dropped under $150 or under $15 post split prices. And I had at least $5,000 to $8,000 worth of stock under $150, under $15. And then when it had $160, I listened to one of the guys that I don't listen to anymore, Everything Money. He was busting on NVIDIA like nobody's business, and I really trusted him. He really convinced me, and I sold NVIDIA at $16 for like barely a 10% gain. I sold all of it. And then what did it do? It climbed. And then I bought in again at $45. I bought back in a couple quarters later when it tripled. By now it tripled. It's from 15 to 45. I bought several $1,000s again, and then I got spooked out again that it was overpriced, and I sold out for like another 10% gain, and then it just took off again up into 100. And I bought back in again in the 90s, in the current prices of 90s, and I just can't believe it. So now I'm holding on to it for the next decade, next 10 years. So because I got a little smarter with how to evaluate stocks and just not being afraid of the dips. I mean, I bought some over $100 and it dropped down to 80, and I didn't even bat an eye. I bought more, and now it's back up to over 170, and they're calling, you know, it's up to 170, and they're calling it's the first $4 trillion. They say it's going to 5-6 trillion. I mean, it's the king of AI. You need NVIDIA for AI, and no one's going to be able to compete except for AMD. At least AMD, I'm in better prices, but I would have had a 10x, a 15x if I would have held on and understood more what I was. So let's say $5,000 would be worth about $60,000 to $70,000 just in 2 years. So stupid. One of the stocks that I did get in early on was Palantir. That was hard to hold through. Palantir. I bought some at $20 when it first came out, IPO'd, and then it dropped to $6, and it stayed at $6 for like a year or two. But I kept listening to the two people that I really respected, and they just kept buying. And I kept buying when it was in the $6, $7, $8, $6 to $8, $10 range. And you had the same schmuck who sold, the same schmuck who had money, all money, everything money. The same schmuck who convinced me to sell out. I'm the schmuck, I know I am. But he was the schmuck that convinced me. He was also bashing Palantir, even at $5. So I won't get it. I won't buy it till it's $4.50. And I said, I'm listening to this other guy, because by now I got convinced the other guy doesn't know what he's talking about, especially when it comes to technology. So I held on. I kept buying, and I had a good position. And Palantir is a 15x for me now. I did sell out. I sold out to cover my cost basis too soon. I think it was when it was a double and a triple for me, when it was already a 2 and 3x. I sold out to get my cost basis back, and I regret that. Well, at least, so now all the shares I have are house shares. You know, I have my cost basis back. So whatever happens to it, it happens, and it's one of my biggest positions with my smallest investment. It's really pretty impressive. Hims and Hers is another one. I was buying early, even though people were bashing it. I was buying it in the $6. That's a 10x for me. You know, Axon was another one. It's almost it's a 5x. I've got a couple stocks like that I just got smarter in what I'm holding, and how I'm holding it. So in NVIDIA, $4 trillion, and they expect that it could go to 4.2 within the next year. They're calling for a $200 price target on it. Anyway, I find the stock market very interesting. Tariff volatility is still happening. You know, Trump says he's doing he has a couple deals in the pipeline. I think one of the big ones that's not yet coming through is like Canada, the Canadians, and what's the other one? I don't remember. Maybe Asia, someone in Asia, a big one. India, maybe? Anyway, so I think that's it for today. This is already, what is this going? Oh my gosh, this is going on 25 minutes. Man, I can really ramble. So those are the big things. We're at the end of week 24. That's my point. We're at the end of week 24. Next week, week 23 starts tomorrow. Ooh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get out of here. This is another week. I just cannot wait. I can't. These are the past 2 weeks are the reminders that I need to get out while I can. How badly I want to get out. That was the other thing. We lost the donor. We lost a good donor for nothing but incompetence. Incompetence. The budget was good. The proposal was good. But what did the person who was responsible didn't do? They didn't send in. You have to sign in a signed declaration. Just all it required was a signed declaration. You just had to sign the paper, a declaration saying you follow these certain rules. That's why we didn't get win the proposal. and we were automatically eliminated from the process. If you can't follow the instructions, they don't want you. Can't believe it. I wonder what's going to be the discussions next week. And this is incompetence. This is the incompetence I can't stand anymore. This was a simple thing that the person was, two people responsible didn't do, and they can't do. That's the thing, they can't do it. And these are the people we got to report to. Anyway, this is Choice of winding down Chronicles of an expat going into early retirement. There's a little pigeon there. Hope he doesn't go into the water. I wonder if he's one of the ones I saved. Yeah. 12-year anniversary. What do you say to that?
มันครบรอบ12 ปี
12-year anniversary. We came out for celebrate by getting a 2-hour massage. This is what God loves to do. We don't go anywhere doing it. We don't do anything. We don't do anything. We just like massage and eat good.
eat own food
Right? Eat our own food. I'll just do 1.5 hours. She'll do 2 hours. I get bored with more than 2 hours. Or I get bored with more than 1.5 hour. So this is how we celebrate. Good times. Good times. Good times. I just spent about 2 hours looking at videos. I've really talked a lot today. I didn't do many videos, but I did some long ones this week. But it's taken me about a couple hours to put them together and clip. So anyway, wrapping up here. We'll go to church tomorrow and start week 23. I just came out of a very good massage, an hour and a half at this massage parlor here. He was really good. I enjoyed it. It's usually 50-50. 50-50, I don't really enjoy it. But I only did an hour and a half. That is, she's went upstairs to do 2 hours. She likes to lay down. I don't know. I don't enjoy it that long. But yeah, it's a nice rainy evening. Very cozy. But not many people out. Not many people out. There's my barber. Not many people out this weekend. Well, actually, it's a holiday weekend. So, amazingly, I don't know if that's clear. I can't wear my glasses because it's raining. I have to be careful while I'm walking. But yeah, just had a really nice hour and a half massage. I'm gonna go home. It's Saturday night. I might watch a movie tonight. I don't know. We have Netflix, but I don't watch it that much. All right, everybody. Next week I'm in Chiang Mai for some meetings for a couple days, and still following up on audit stuff from 2024. Really crazy times. Take care, everybody. God bless, and take it slow. Going into early retirement on a modest budget. I don't have millions. I don't even have $1 million.